So with that being said, it is wonderful to be with you. We are here in the October Town Hall Report. I will have Uwe come up and he'll lead us in a prayer, and then we'll proceed on with the meeting.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll have a little meditation from this beautiful booklet, Jesus Daily. The verse for today is from Philippians 4, verse 5. It says, "Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." And the reflection is gentle strength. We often think of gentle people as ones who are sensitive, quiet, reserved, and tentative in the way they approach and interact with those around them. However, the kind of gentleness to which we are called is one grounded in strength, compassion, and service. Gentleness is based in love and remains slow to anger. It does not use power unnecessarily, but instead humbly serves others in need. It takes a remarkably strong person to speak and to act with gentleness. You must know who you are and whose you are in order to let go of having to prove yourself, exercise power over others, or demand the attention of entitlement. Today, exercise the strength necessary to be gentle in all you do and all you say. Let others see the Father's tenderness and toughness through you. Let's say a quick word of prayer. Eternal God, we are grateful that we come together. Indeed, you remind us that gentleness is your way of relating to us and that there is strength in gentleness. Lord, we pray for a special blessing upon the leadership of the Chesapeake, especially upon David on his birthday. Give him strength, give him gentleness, give him insight and wisdom to continue to lead us here. We're grateful that we can come together and that we can enjoy this beautiful fall weather. Now please bless us as we listen to important information. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Someone's calling to wish me happy birthday. Whoever it is, just don't answer it. Anyways, Jim Lewis, who's continuing to do just a phenomenal job leading your resident council. It's just an honor just to greet him as he steps forward. He has an important message for you, but just still remain so impressed with the council, how it operates, and just everything about it. So with that being said, Jim, here you go.
Okay, three quick things about the Resident Council Employee Christmas Fund campaign. First, we're beginning our formal collections on November 1st. The question sometimes comes up, why do we start so early talking about Christmas? Well, we end our formal collections early in December so we can add up all your contributions, divide them up among the staff, prepare the checks, hand out the checks to each individual before Christmas. So then they have those funds to help them maybe if they'd like to through their Christmas. So that's the idea for the early. Second thing is that I hope you'll all want to participate in this campaign this year. This is a great way to express your appreciation for the staff for what they do for us all throughout the year. And it's also a nice way to bless them in a practical way at Christmas time. And then finally, around November 1st, you'll get a letter in your cubby. It'll have all the details regarding the collection. And there'll be two names in there, Beverly Haskins from Yorktown and Linda Benson from Newport. They are the council's Christmas coordinators this year, and they'll be the ones to answer any questions you've got about the campaign as we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that message. If we track along on today's report, I'll just first mention several of the names of new residents. Pearl Moran has moved into the Hampton neighborhood, David and Nancy Gray in Newport, and Terry and Mary Ellen Taylor in Gloucester. And we also have Helen Highsmith and Helen Dalton between this week and next week. They're all arriving. Any of those new residents in the room today? Yeah, stand on up. And greeting you and welcome to the Chesapeake. The campus population, one of the things that you will probably take note with me is the occupied 239. And that's compared to 251 total accommodations when you add all apartments, all cottages up. What is it sharing with us? We've had some recent transitions, some residents moving into assisted living. We had one resident move to another community. A number of things happening that's very fascinating, but to the good work, and don't see Courtney in the room, but Courtney and Amy, are right on top of it. We have 11 reservations, only one apartment, probably keys just turned in, yet to reserve. So just significantly high demand, busy work, as many of our leaders and helpers in higher levels of care have made room as people have moved about. But just a very busy time, but still pretty stellar numbers. Because of that, we're actually at a 95% occupancy. We're just a hair below budget, but you can see we're very strong to budget in our assisted living neighborhoods and what Judy does, as well as healthcare is real close, one person off, but we're actually strong on the Medicare side. If you would take that report, you could pretty much parallel to our current financial. Again, favorable, had about, with nearly $2.5 million worth of revenue expenses, we were 20,000 favorable last month. Pretty good. And we're still tracking positive year to date, but it's a slim margin. And we'll see that margin sort of get very tight towards the end of the year. But I'm giving you, not only is the occupancy strong, which is so important, but so too is expense management. So that's just a quick statement there. You'll see a note at the bottom of page 1 about Amanda Black. Had a planned vacation. She hadn't been back to her home country of England, and she is now overseas and will be coming back to us early in November. So Ian is assisting us, Sherry Stilley. Of course, we will get statements out. Things will happen, but just giving Amanda some time that she had planned for. With that, in those statements produced for you that came out at the beginning of October, we sent you some notification. We thought it was going to be a few days delayed. It ended up being about that. You did get your statements. There were a couple of things that you saw that were different, but here on the top of page 2, you'll see several different points. In fact, 4 different things. I won't read over them. You certainly can, but it just gives you some updates, either explaining what to expect, why something was stated the way it was, and a wording change that over 30 days owed is actually current charges for ancillary you're appropriate to pay with the next month's statement. But these are some general definitions that will help you for questions you might have as you glance or look at your statements. Accuracy of numbers, etc., I think has been pretty constant. We had a question, did some residents get charged for the $45? Did that come through for those who have Wi-Fi? We're double checking those types of things, but whenever you change computer programs and data sets and a lot of things, it ends up being fine in the long run, but you gotta do a lot of cross-checking. And we triple checked this and finally got to that point we could release the statements. So appreciate that. Ian is here to help. You can leave, most importantly though, a message. Any building office question, you can leave it on 1642. Sherry Stilley is assisting while Amanda's away. And so again, if you have a question, we're here to answer it. Myself and Don are upstairs in administration. We can certainly receive your question as well. Thing that people always come to this meeting for and to hear about is what's the result of the budget process. What has the board finance committee reviewed in that budget, and what are they approving for 2026 rate increases? And as you can see printed here on the page at bottom the bottom of page 2, IL residents whose monthly service fee is at the published rate. Pretty much anyone who's been here since 2019. There's also individuals prior to that, under circumstances. We know, and they know who they are, but the standard increase across LifeSpire is 3.75%. For residents who are catching up, and there's still approximately 120. These are some folks that moved in prior to 2019, certain circumstances. They came in at a different market rate, trying to get them to the fair actual amount. They'll be going up 4.25%. And those are the most important percentages affecting you in this room. That is higher than last year. And the big reasons that you start to read into here, it's wages. It's what we've done in the last 6 months to get all agency, which is temporary help out of the building, which is very costly, bringing our nurses and CNAs' wages to the most competitive level, and stabilizing that element of healthcare. And as you can see in the notes here, whereas we can look at overall wage expense increase about 4%, that's insurances, which did go up, employee healthcare insurance. We were relatively flat last year. This year, we got a hit. Claims, other experiences, we have stop loss. We have a very progressive program for our health insurance, but it went up higher. But the most notable is that other figure that I've mentioned here. It's just an average. Some of them were more than this, but 8% increase for the nurses and the care staff to stabilize and be at the top of the market, not at the middle or bottom. We have to compete, and we have to keep and secure quality caregivers. And that's something that, even though you're in independent living, you know it from the day you move in with an entrance fee, with a life care contract, with the fee-for-service contract. We put parts of the money, it does go towards those higher levels of care. You're part of that continuum. And that's just something important to remember. We also did insert some significant dollars, additional dollars in the landscaping area, because we listen to you. We want the grounds to look even better. We want pruning to be better, so many things, but there's some cost to that. And even though it may not be a lot of money, we inched it up. We also inched up within buildings and grounds the amount of money available for unit refresh. We know the individuals who are either due to have their apartment or cottage refreshed, and some of the dollars we used to spend to paint or do flooring or whatever and things that you've needed, it's costing more. We literally had to put $100,000 more into that fund to take care of those unit refresh. Not for a brand new unit, but for any of you who've been here 10 years. So those are important figures. Making sure we have enough other resources is there. Food costs, I'll give you a lot more detail shortly or when we get together for a specific budget meeting. But right now, what we've experienced and what we're looking at is almost a 4% increase on raw food. As you know, there are certain meats, certain seafoods, things that are more expensive, some other things are flat, but that's the reality. So those are the things that I wanted you to hear. You can read at the bottom of the page. 231 are FTEs, which is full-time equivalents. Individuals working 40 hours, or if you just look at the overall head count can go up and down. Right now, we're at a little bit higher head count because of the number of part-time folks we have. We're still working the same amount of hours and serving you, but we were flat. All across LifeSpire, there is extreme caution if any community asks for additional labor. We really had to keep it flat, and that's fine. That's what we wanted to do. And that's one of our biggest expenses. The optional service fee list will be made available to you, and both that and your individual calculated rate increase all comes into a letter which you'll receive by November 1st. So we'll be getting those out to you. In the optional service fee list, you'll see some modest adjustments. We try to, just for example, on the guest room accommodations, just try to mirror one of our baseline hotels in the area. Where should we be? We don't have taxes. We give a free breakfast voucher. There's things that we do. We're holding for the 5th year in a row that Wi-Fi internet fees flat. That's just $45. We haven't raised it. Every year we've gotten a 3 to 3.5% increase from Cox, but we've never raised your $45. I just said, let's leave that alone. So some of you may say, well, how come I just don't have Wi-Fi included? Well, sure, we could. We just need to add 45 more to your monthly service fee because you're still going to be paying for it. Of note, next fall, next September, our 5-year agreement with Cox ends. And we're already looking at our options, evaluating them, and it won't affect really this next fiscal year and the budget we're speaking of, but it will be an important decision to make for your service, number one, and two, how can we still be good stewards of dollars? So that's going to be a very important contract we're negotiating this coming spring into summer. The other thing that is being discussed throughout LifeSpire, and I can't give the exact numbers, but I can tell you, I think the strong sentiment is it is a year that let's go and increase dining dollars. Because you'll often say, wait, I'm paying more, should I get my dining dollars? And yes, you will follow up with the question, say, well, David, if I get more dining dollars, does that also mean the menu prices go up? To some level, yes. Everything that happens here you pay for. But what we will do is, as soon as I have confirmation from our sister communities what that increase will be to your dining dollars, and if you are on a half plan or zero plan, where you're also getting a credit off your monthly service bill, we'll communicate that. But you're gonna get a commitment from me and Kurt and Julian. January 1st, we're not going across and raising the menu prices. If there's some things incrementally that we see in February or March or April, we need to have crab to go up or this to go up or it's cyclical, we will, but there's not gonna be a wholesale rate, price increase on the menu. I just think it'd be wrong for us to say, here's additional dining dollars, but at the same time, we're just raising every single price incrementally. We just need to give you time to understand and enjoy those additional dollars. So those are some things that are relevant that's in that part of the discussion. A couple other points here. We do have individuals with direct admissions. We have individuals on fee-for-service. Certain contract types, we are able to add an additional percentage, and it's appropriate because, as you've heard me say, a lot of our pressures on the expense is in the higher levels of care. Again, higher levels of care, the health center, the assisted living neighborhood, the memory care, cornerstone neighborhood. So individuals with the contracts where we can increase the percent a little differently there, we do so. And across all of LifeSpire, that will be 4.75%. Again, affecting those higher levels of care, and we have to refer to the contract type. Separate from rate increases and monthly service fees, our entrance fees for new residents moving in will go up. And it's approximately a 4 to 5% increase. We look at home values, what's happening in the area. And what that means is it will generate some additional entrance fees next year. So as we get, I just use an example here, 30, this year it was closer to 35, 36 new residents coming to us. But those are entrance fees that come in. And I always try to use this opportunity to describe, we have our home budget paying for groceries and utilities and labor, and that's your monthly service fees, and that's this bucket of money. And then we have this money that comes in from entrance fees, and when we receive those, there's an amortization schedule we must follow. It's been Jonathan Cook and our board's practice to put some of those monies into reserve for future care. And then, yes, we use some for current capital. And our capital is just a portion of the entrance fees received, but the capital is the unit turnover expense to prepare a new home. It's buying a new ice cream machine. It's getting new carpeting. It's getting air conditioning replaced. That's the capital dollars, but that's coming out of this bucket of money. So those are the two things that we have, and I hope that's a little bit of a helpful explanation. So you can sort of read to the end there. What I didn't put in these 2 or 3 paragraphs about the budget, about these increases, is I will hold, as I do each year, a lengthy meeting with a lot of slides that shows you some facts. It'll give you statistics. Robin, who is our CFO, has already prepped some information because she had to prepare the board, and they had to make a very important decision on these increases. So I think you're going to see a very elevated amount of easy to read and digest information that I'll be sharing with you. And I typically do that meeting in December, sometimes towards the end of the month, but it's just educational, it's informational, it's before you actually start paying the increase, but it helps you to understand how did this all come together, what is our budget, what are we spending on areas, what went up. So thorough disclosure will happen then. So that's the information. I always appreciate you listening. I know there's a lot of questions and there's always the concern. This does not equate to Social Security change. And we all have our own hesitations and what's happening there. The good news is the markets and many of your portfolios have been very favorable as of late. And that is good news. But we don't take this lightly, and whenever we think about expenses, and as I said, we kept our FTEs, our team flat, put the dollars where we needed to, food, taking care of the buildings, and healthcare, and the staffing there. So that's really the focus on it, so I hope that's a fair narrative until we spend more time on this subject. Any specific questions, don't hesitate to get me today, call me tomorrow, set up a meeting with me. If you ever want to talk through anything, absolutely. If you want to wait, experience the full presentation as I present in December, that's fine too. I'm going to go on a couple other subjects, and that is first just chimes, just to let you know that Barbara Howe and the individuals always looking for additional participants. We've had some new residents, and I think Barbara would say to you, if you can count and you can follow some direction and you like some beautiful sounds, and you want to have some fun, right? Barbara, fun is always part of it. Consider joining the Chimes group. Resident directory. Many of you have been helping us. Many of you have been catching these things. Another quirk with this point-click care integration, and again, point-click care is our new medical record system, electronic medical records. Very helpful, very well received, an extraordinary tool in our healthcare center system of memory care, but it also controls data coming in. And even though we knew that there was good connectivity between Uniguest and our resident app, when we came in time to implementation, it distorted data, it distorted addresses, it duplicated names, pictures. So you've been helping us because we all do rely on the accuracy of our resident list, our resident directory, etc. So just so you know that from Paula to several others here, Courtney, Kim Miller, our Vice President of Information Technology, are all aware of this and working diligently for it to get corrected and just everything accurate. So again, getting resident directory, getting information correct. A couple capital items. I'll talk more about the ice cream in a moment, but just the fun little point here, I remember this as a child, you scream ice cream, we all scream for ice cream. Well, in around 10 days, you can go into the cafe and scream for soft serve, because it will be available. I'll tell you more in a moment. So that's one item that's on your list. We've got the hall benches for Hampton quarters on order. We're also getting some additional draperies. And there's a number of other projects we're completing this year, and you'll hear more of them in Andy's report. Pavilion update, that's the construction going out behind the Gloucester cottages. Yes, you have seen that we finally got the underground power line moved. Yes, they are now digging, preparing for the foundation. They'll be framing it. If weather is conducive, and we got some rain next week, by the end of the week, depending on how soaked we get, they may be able to pour the cement. It will be day by day, but we'll keep you posted because some of you may want to witness that. It will be a very busy day with cement trucks lined up, backing up across that heavy gravel, and truck by truck emptying. And about 12 trucks will be needed to fill that slab. So don't hold me on that number, but I remember being told that. If it's less or more than that, then correct me. But that's something that will be very interesting. We'll keep you posted on that. And then once the cement's poured, then the structure will rise. It's just been this, getting the base and this groundwork and the underground has just been a challenge, getting everybody to cooperate. But we are moving along. Another update that I'll share is with Tides Lounge and the healthcare Sky Atrium. Some of you may have referred to that area forever, as I have, as the Compass. And we had the east, west, south. Well, we've changed it. It's going to be Sky Atrium, and everything's more nautical themed down there. So we have the Atlantic, Baltic, and Coral neighborhoods. You'll see signs up. But right now, when you walk down the healthcare center, you'll see in the center, over that old compass, a partition. And above it is being installed a blue sky. It actually looks like the sky. You would think you're looking up through the roof, but it's a artificial created sky. It's a very unique feature that will bring light. And then you add to it a fireplace similar to the one in Tides Lounge, bookcases, other lovely furniture, and we're finally getting those touches to complete the healthcare center. You may have already walked down and seen their galley or their dining room. You may have turned to the right and seen the activities or reef room. They're lovely spaces. Residents are enjoying them now. The cooked order dining is just advancing every day. So again, good things happening, but that's the Tides Lounge and all of that. We're also, just stay on that for a moment, and I know this point is really specific to getting items donated. And we have received some lovely things. We want to continue to receive more items, but again, healthcare atrium and this storage area are all important. Pie Social, yep, got that coming up November 25th. Anyone going to be around that day? We'll be here. So if I make the pies, will anybody come and eat them? Okay, so I hope so, because I don't want the pies to go to waste, and particularly my waste. So pumpkin pies and mincemeat pies will be available that day. We have a lot of fun. If you're a new resident, no, you do not have to try the mincemeat, but many of the people in this room have tried it, and I've converted them, and they like it. And Tommy Peak expects me to prepare her mincemeat pie because she loves trying it. So all the same, just come that day. That's on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Decorating apartment entrances, balconies. You can read what's here. It's really what's written within your handbook. But just realize what you put outside your door, what's on your balcony or patio. It's for your enjoyment, but also remember we are a community environment. And you have to be sensitive to, is it of the appeal, of the class, of the appropriate homeliness that we want. So just be conscious about what is out. We don't want to have to knock on someone's door and say, you can't put something on the floor, or I don't want someone who goes crazy decorating their balcony and neon lights and it's flashing across to somebody else. You just got to be careful and be mindful we're part of a community setting. So those are the best guidelines there. Barbara Jackson Ingram is just returning from an out-of-state conference. So in her absence, I will share some things with you. We're going to have a formal announcement, and Barbara will produce that on her return on Monday. But for you to read with me, we did have a transition where Riz Bowen, Director of Nursing, had another opportunity, wanted to leave for that. She actually had been away this summer during our integration of the new system. And Candy Rono, Rowena Katzip, we call her Ro, and a number of other individuals, Jeremy Flynn, staff development, these individuals stepped up and shined and just did a phenomenal job with both that integration of point-click care, but also with the work of just leading our care team and raising that bar on health services. With that, we're very pleased to announce that Candy Rono has accepted the Director of Nursing position, that Ro Katzip has accepted the Assistant Director of Nursing, and these are two fine nurse administrators that we're just thrilled to have on our team. For us to have the bench strength to not to have to do a Director of Nursing search and have two individuals, really more, in the building capable of this is impressive. So those two ladies, you'll hear more about that. Barbara will get out a formal announcement. You can read about their experience, although Candy's newer to us. Her senior living experience is strong, comes from Texas and other states where she's worked. Ro has been with us for over 10 years and really has grown up here as a nurse. And both of them just bring unique talents and skill sets in communication and calmness and competence and things that I think will impress you and make us an even better healthcare center. So just look forward to meeting those individuals, but that's really the important promotion announcement there under Barbara's. You'll see into the next role. She does give you a little explanation about what Ro's role was as MDS nurse. We use a lot of acronyms. And minimum data set is what I remember it to stand for, but this tells you a little bit more about what she was doing, which again, well prepared her for ADON, Assistant Director of Nursing work. But now we will be replacing Roe and seeking a permanent MDS coordinator, MDS nurse. Jeremy Flynn, another name, a gentleman who's just a great leader. He's handling our staff development, the training, working alongside our team. So he's part of this trio, and again, just a really good group, and they will help us to be the best in the East. The 4B, this talks a little bit more about the renovations, and we just want to thank our residents for their patience. We are planning a wonderful meal for them on November 6th, and it's just going to be a special experience. Many of us managers will be down there, but just thanking them for their patience while we renovated their home and their dining room. Now we're into it, using it, and we'll be treating them that day. So those are the things so far from Barbara and myself. Donna's here to talk about a number of things, and I'll be back in a moment.
Hello again. All right, so as many of you know, most of you know, we are in Medicare open enrollment. And what we want to remind you is that the Chesapeake is not a participating member in any Medicare Advantage plans. So if you need to go to our healthcare center for any rehab stays, it's important to remember that a traditional Medicare plan is your best option. With the Medicare Advantage plan, they are the ones determining your length of stay if you were to need a rehab stay in our Medicare, in our healthcare center. So a traditional Medicare plan is always your best option as a resident at the Chesapeake. If you want to discuss one-on-one, get more information, reach out to myself or Elizabeth Steiner, our social worker, and we'd be happy to discuss that with you further, okay? Flu clinic. So vaccines, we had a very successful flu vaccine clinic giving over 140 vaccines for our first clinic. Now we're gonna have your second opportunity to have your vaccine on next Wednesday, October 29th. So if you'd like to have your vaccine, if you haven't had it yet, please reach out to the clinic and they'd be happy to sign you up for that vaccine if you haven't done it yet, okay? COVID vaccines, I know that's been the next thing we've been waiting for. So we finally have information on the COVID vaccine. So we're very excited that we're gonna be partnering with Denby Pharmacy to have the COVID vaccines done here on Friday, November 21st. So important information is that you will be able to sign up starting next Tuesday at the clinic. So to be able to sign up for an appointment, you must bring a current insurance card, and at the time of the sign up, we're gonna be asking you to fill out a consent form. So you're gonna actually have to go in person to the clinic to sign up for an appointment slot for that COVID vaccine. And we will have a hard stop date of November 13th because Denby Pharmacy needs to run all the insurance cards and get all that information in prior to. So on the day of the clinic, we will not be able to take last minute people in for that COVID shot, okay? So please, if you're interested in receiving that shot, please sign up prior to, okay? Oh, okay, I was looking in the way back. Ray and Donna? Okay, so moving on to environmental services. So I want to thank Doug Totten, who has taken this under his wing. We have seen, believe it or not, this time of year is when we really see the pests who want to come in and get warm and find a food source, but we have seen a decrease in the number of pest calls in the community. Our pest control vendor, Orkin, does come 4 times a week. And I encourage you, if you are seeing any rodents or rodent activity in your apartments, please call. That's the only way we know to come and be able to address the issue. With Orkin here 4 times a week, there's plenty of opportunity for them to come to your apartment and address the issue. So if you're having any concerns, please let the concierge know and they'll come address it on their next visit. But we have seen a decrease in the number of calls, so we are really excited about that. And next, I'm excited, and I do want to thank Doug. During our time of transition, when Tiffany Brumby and J.D. Duggar had left their positions, Doug was holding down the fort in environmental services, but I'm really excited to be able to introduce first Ray Pitt. who has taken over as our new Director of Environmental Services. And I have to make this real high for Ray. And I'll let Ray introduce himself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited to be here to just make every day of your stay the most pleasant that I could bring. My years of leadership in healthcare and community service is extremely a lot of years of training. And if there's anything that I could do to make your stay more pleasant, please let me know. I'm gonna be walking the halls, walking your floors where you live each and every day, meeting you, letting you know who I am. You know, I don't want to be a stranger. I want everybody to know who I am and what am I here for. And again, I am just so excited just to be here and just make your stay pleasant. Thank you.
We're really excited. David was talking about, wonderful leadership team, and I'm really excited that our environmental services leadership team is growing, and we have brought on some really excellent leaders to the program. And Donna, many of you will recognize Donna. I didn't hire her only for her name, but recognizing Donna from our housekeeping team. Donna started out as one of our healthcare housekeepers, then moved on to independent living, and now Donna is our environmental services supervisor. Donna's going to be overseeing our higher level of care housekeepers as well as our laundry department. So welcome, Donna.
I'm gonna have to bring the bike.
Yeah, now we're going back down.
Hello, everyone. Everyone know me as Donna, and I'm excited, thrilled. I'm lost for word because I'm so excited as I'm stepping into the role of housekeeping. I went home when I got the good news. I went home and I threw myself on the bed. And there was my dog. I always go in and give her a pat on the head. And she was like looking at me. She was like, "What happened to mommy today? Something is not right." So she knows to open the door. So she flipped the knob, she get inside. And she was like, "Mommy, what's happened?" She keep looking at me. I look at her name is Kiki, but I call her Kiki Poo. I'll look at her and say, "Kiki Poo, I got some good news for you." She swung around like, what? She has no tails. Her tail was going like this. She said, "Mommy, what?" I said, "Well, Mommy have got a promotion today. Mommy is officially a supervisor now for the housekeeping department." She looked at me, she was like, "I'm trying to understand, but I'm happy for you." So I'm happy, I'm thrilled. I want to say thank you to Ms. Donna. I want to say thank you to Mr. Loop. I want to also say thank you to Jennifer HR. I want to say thank you to all my residents that support me. Miss Trent, when Miss Trent said, "Donna, I'm happy for you, but I'm sorry for me, Miss Trent." I still got you. You need me, I'll come over there and get you. I want to say thank you to Miss Blackstock that gave me a hug and said, "Donna, I wish you all." I want to say thank you to Miss Penny who gave me a hug and said, "Donna, we miss you, but I'm happy for you." I want to say for those names that I can't remember, I want to say thank you all. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. And I'll still be there. You need me, I say, "All right, I still got you. I'm still your housekeeper. I'll be there." You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
So Donna brings many years of experience not only in healthcare but also in hospitality. And as you can see, she has a real love for the Chesapeake and a passion for the higher levels of care. And we're really excited to see what she can bring. So really excited as we grow. So thank you. Judy, you are up next.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hold on. You see this, Donna? Has to go even lower. Okay, well, it's nice to see everyone today. So Some of you were at the talent show, which was a wonderful time. And the big news for assisted living in Cornerstone is that the fundraising talent show for the corresponding Walk to End Alzheimer's raised over $4,700 for the Alzheimer's Association. Our Cornerstone leader, Sarah, was the brains and the brawn behind the talent show with many assistants, including the activities team in independent living and assisted living. So we really appreciate all the help, and we really appreciate the patrons who came to the talent show and the talent who helped serve as part of the show. So that was great. Thank you. Some say that was one of the best shows of the night, right there. Okay, so in assisted living, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we have been up to. Cindy's report shares that we started the beginning of the month in October with Active Aging Week, which included a new seated exercise program led by our activities coordinator, Cindy. And we also had a fun walk all around the community to check out all of the scarecrows and do some voting, and had a watercolor art class. I would say it says led by me, but it wasn't because I'm not an artist, but I passed around the paint, so that was fun. And some educational presentations on the benefits of exercise and how to improve your mind with music. We have some nursing students from the Virginia Peninsula Community College who are coming to our community and being taught and doing a little practicing on how to be a nursing assistant, so that's been great as well. We had a bus trip recently to Pumpkinville and picked some pumpkins to decorate and took the residents on a shopping trip to Pop Shelf, and also picked up some Krispy Kreme donuts. And our lunch bunch went to dine at Smokin' Barbecue. We are really looking forward to the team member and resident Halloween trick-or-treat night, which is coming right up, I think, on Tuesday. And that is the news from Assisted Living and Cornerstone. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So let me quickly run through our buildings and grounds report. Some of the things in the report have already been mentioned, so I'll try not to be repetitive as to what's already been talked about. From a landscaping perspective, just a couple of bits of information. We have received all the proposals for 2026 landscaping maintenance, and we're reviewing those, and we'll probably make a decision by the end of next week is what the plan is. The new tree planting project is underway. James Little of Nature's Best Landscaping is scheduled to be on campus tomorrow with a member of our tree committee and our buildings and grounds committee to make sure that the new trees go in the exact location that they should go. Because we have a map that has dots on it, but we need our specialists with us to make sure that the tree goes, that the dot's in the right place and the tree goes in the right place. So that is underway, and we currently have received about 20 donations for new trees. Exterior capital improvements, things we continue to repeat each month for the past few months, are the column painting project as well as the fascia painting. Those are 95% complete, but we are working very closely, almost day by day, with the contractors to finalize those projects. We're also working with Epoch Construction to provide concrete repairs for us around the campus. So if you do some walking around the campus, you'll notice that some of the concrete slabs on the sidewalks are uneven. We will be contracting with a subcontractor to come out and sort of sand down and grind down those uneven spots so that they're not a trip hazard. My first walk around the campus, I located 63 such spots. Well, we did a second check, and my assistant and I went around and looked again at the sidewalks, and I asked him yesterday what the final number was, and he said, I didn't count them, I didn't want to count them. So that told me there's more than 63, but we will be addressing all of those areas that are uneven. Phase 4B, healthcare renovations, that has been talked about by David already. So we're looking forward to the completion of our 4B renovation projects. The HVAC updates is just a moving forward from what was reported last month, that we still have 4 hallway units to be replaced in our Newport wing of the campus. And as soon as those units arrive at the warehouse of our contractor, then we will schedule the installation of those 4 units. And then at the top of page 8, there's just a series of upcoming projects and that we will be managing and working through between now and the end of the year. And you can read those. I'll just highlight a couple. The Chessie's renovation, which is our employee break room renovation, a new floor, new cabinets, new countertops for our team members, an LED electrical lighting upgrade, just phase 1 of that upgrade, which is a part of our AL, our assisted living hallway lighting, some select elevator upgrades, an emergency recovery coil in our HVAC system. We've already had one installed this past week in IL. The second one will be installed in AL probably the second or third week of November. And then a generator controls upgrade, a Wi-Fi cellular study, a door hardware upgrade, cottage landscaping project, and then repairs to our Chesapeake Center atrium, which is the windowed area. If you walk right out here, just look straight up, see the sky. There's just some repairs that have to be done to that high-level skylight area, and we're in the process of having a contractor come out next week to take a look at that and give us a proposal. Well, that's all for Buildings and Grounds. We have a lot going on, and thank you all for your partnership. And it's a pleasure to serve you. So Ed Fullhart, ladies and gentlemen.
Never fear, the red shirt is here. They let me out of the cage. Broke the glass. Okay, so the Sarah system upgrade, the ones that you guys got flyers on, and I saw some in the trash can that, it's good. That went smoothly today, so great job by our folks up in Northern Virginia there that got that done for us. Then we've got in November, third week in November, we are going to be having the annual fire alarm testing. And you know what that means, beeping, buzzing, and all sorts of sounds. So please put that on your calendar. We'll have a better schedule out on where we're gonna get the independent living cottages and houses, because we'll have to go in and test all your smoke detectors. All right, and finally, the walkers. A lot of walkers out there in the morning. It's dark now. So I encourage you to go on Amazon or wherever you can find them and get reflective belts, vests, lights. Last night I was driving home, and up ahead I saw my wife walking the dogs, and so I pulled in the driveway right there, pulled out Amazon, and I got reflective vests for my dogs. I then went in the house and thought, maybe I should order one for her. So I did. But the dogs are important. They greet me when I come home. So that's all I have. Yes. All right, back to Dave.
Thanks. So for those of you who are at the talent show, and I did hear remnants of the donkey in the room. So I understand the donkey and its owner were quite the comedy act last Friday. I think we have a new comedy act. We have Donna Chambliss, our housekeeping supervisor, and her friend Ed. So I think those are the next two acts we're gonna have to work on, so I'm glad you're getting FaceTime here to perpetuate your, good stuff. This month I'm here for Kurt, next month he's gonna be here for himself. And as you can read here in the very top, just received the wonderful news, sent me a text, it's been over a week ago, just saying he had a follow-up pathology report, et cetera. He's just said, I'm cancer-free. A number of us had sent him some well wishes. I delivered them to him when he was in the hospital, and don't know the full connection. Some of you perhaps better than I, that Jeep owners, Jeep as in J-E-E-P, the four-wheel drive vehicle, and ducks have an affinity. A lot of Jeep owners have ducks. Well, he didn't have any until now, because we sent him a whole basket with notes of well wishes written on them and a series of ducks. So he sends me a picture of his Jeep with all the ducks on his dashboard. So he's just doing fine, had another appointment today. I'll be talking with him this evening, but I know he's excited, and I think an appointment on Monday will give him greater clearance to understand the exact date when we can welcome him back to the building. I see both Nisha and Kiana in the back of the room. Julian's been busy all day with the cafe work, but that team has just been doing a wonderful job leading the team, a lot of things happening, a lot of events, and again, just doing a great job. If you read with me, you'll first learn of that, praising them. The newly formatted comment cards. Pat, I know you're in the room, your dining committee had helped with Kiana, et cetera, just really trying to get those comment cards to the best and easiest completion and making sense for us to respond to. And I know both Anisha and Kiana are looking at it. I'll catch eyes with them and make sure every single comment card that wants a response we're responding to, and that we are fulfilling that obligation to you, because we want to hear your feedback. We want to provide you information. So, real important. The other thing I'm saying in this second paragraph is something that I've been added to and receiving now for quite a while, is a shift report from Kiana or the evening manager. That shift report would be something, you'd probably be fascinated to read. I would encourage one of them to be read at the upcoming Food and Beverage Committee meeting. But what Kiana does is highlights not just the number of residents and accounts that day, the staffing that was here, experiences, feedback, whether it was this temperature of this item was cold, this had to be warmed up, we had this service correction, this thing went really well. She talks about her spending time with the given server, what they focused on that night, a next step that may be needed, or they're just doing great and ready to go. But it's just a very carefully written report, and Kiana does a great job with that, but I appreciate reading it. And these are the details happening behind the scenes as we're improving these folks. She and I had an interesting conversation last evening, and she said, David, it's interesting. In culinary, you always have the front of the house and the back of the house. And hopefully you've heard those terms before. Back of the house is the kitchen, where everything's produced and the things important happen, but then the front of the house is the fronting you. It's the service area. And they have to be in extreme harmony, because you can have the best chef, but if you're not serving it correctly or on time, that food's cold. You could have really great service and you're really pleased with what's happening at the table, but the food's not tasty or what you wanted, it's not a harmony. And something that's really fascinating, if you think about the average age of the person in the kitchen working and the average age of our servers, 40, 20. Think about that. And we're getting this team to harmonize. A very different. It was the first time in my career I've ever really put that analogy together. But it's something that Kiana realizes she has to, how to connect to these young people, how to connect to them professionally, connect to them so they're motivated, and so that they respond to the training and stay consistent. So I just appreciate your insights, and you've enlightened me, and I'm thinking differently to help other ways to strategize with you. But good work there. If you move then on to beyond the training and things I mentioned, Clark's Cafe, thank you for those understanding that we didn't open up for breakfast today, but as expected, we had some more guests for breakfast, but they were in the Regatta Grill. So there were a few more people. They were just curious. That's good. Those that typically dine in the cafe said this is a little bit bigger. This isn't as warm and cozy. They can't pull their tables together. So the good news is Clark's will be back open tomorrow, but just from getting it organized, clean, Andy, his team that went in this morning did the preventative maintenance on all the equipment, just things that need to happen in that periodic schedule, and it was a good thing to do. So that's happened. I think it went well, and it's almost like it's an important step, but we still have another step we're going to take in the spring. Because in the spring, and I say spring, could be January, February, we have to get on a timeline for this project, but we've already approved and funded next year increasing the seating capacity in Clark's. So one of the resident council initiatives and ideas was, how do we create some more seating? And we can move that outer wall out, if you will, to the set of brick columns, probably another 12 seats, and close that, make the operation a little bit better. But when we do it, we got a few other things we learned today that we're probably going to swap out then. And it just gives us a nice two-step in getting Clark's to even a better level. So good work today. I appreciate everyone's efforts. You know, Megan and her team were wonderful. I know one of the things that Julian and Kurt had worked with the committee on was there's some snack items that were desired for sale, and those things will be available. And the reality on those items, as requested, were barcoded. There were items that come from an outside company. We get no value. We pay almost price on those. And those will be at cost and will be either a resident account or you can pay cash or credit for them. But the second part of the new addition is the soft serve ice cream. Soft serve ice cream, which had been talked about from council for quite a while, is now a reality. The machine is in place. You can read some details here. First, we're going to let the team go through some pretty extensive training, videos, et cetera, and make sure they're operating correctly. And most importantly, it's the preventative, it's the daily cleaning that has to occur on that machine. Want to get that under our belt, and we're setting the first day of sale will be November 3rd, so a week from this coming Monday. That soft serve machine will have vanilla, chocolate, or you can do a swirl, or a mix, or a combo, whatever you want to call it, but chocolate and vanilla combined. We're going to start with 8-ounce servings. We're going to just start out with cups. We'll get cones. Let's get this worked out. Let's see how it works out. We'll have cups. You can get either of the flavors or combined. 8-ounce portion. Price we're looking at is $2.50. We said, let's call Dairy Queen. Let's look at different places. What do they cost? And that's an amount. Now, the important thing is, yes, you can use your dining dollars because that's made here. We're not buying it prepackaged. Okay? So you'll be able to use your dining dollars. But here's the most important thing. And we really had to play a chess game to try to get one move in front of you. Because we said to ourselves, can you see a resident coming at the end of the month with available dining dollars and asking for 20 containers to put in their freezer? Yes, I can see some of our folks doing that. Can you see someone coming in and wanting to get 12 of them to go out? Yes, we can see them doing that. So we had to anticipate what you might want by saying, please allow us to start with a limit. If you step forward and you would like a serving, great. If you'd like to get a second serving to take to a friend or to your spouse back in your apartment, fine. But if you come to the counter and say, I'd like 10 orders, we're going to say, 2 today, 2 right now. Now, differently, let's say that you have grandchildren or great-grandchildren visiting and you got 4 little heads beside you and you want 5 servings, no problem. We see who it's going to. It's going to the folks in front of us. So we're going to start that way. I know you're going to outsmart us. You'll come up with another angle to get more ice cream. We have talked about putting a filter on your dining dollar program, and we'll tell you who eats the most. But we won't announce that until a later time. So anyways, now who we'll do is we'll give that to our new fitness director and to Grace, and they can work on the ice cream connoisseurs. So it will be nice. We bought the best of the best machines. Andy had experience with them in Marriott. He really was giving feedback to Julian, looked at 3-4 different manufacturers, got the competitive bids. We did not buy the cheapest. We bought the one that we thought would be best for you. So that's just to be said, that's a little bit about there. Seafood Fest, many rave reviews, appreciate that. Thank you for the team, thank you for your involvement. Good turnout. I wouldn't be surprised next year if we have even more. The dining committee, Anisha led the group through an after-action sort of review. What type of foods would we like differently? What did we learn? And we had some good input that I think everything that we talked about would increase your interest in that program and that meal. So that's happening. Signature items are going to occur. In fact, the first one's even down below where we're going to have lobster offered. And it's not just going to be a once-a-year lobster fest, but there's going to be several times a year where lobster will be a signature item. And in advance, you can order it because we're going to bring in them fresh. But it will be an option for you, maybe for a special birthday celebration, a special, anniversary or whatever. So some things happening, and we're looking at how this new year will improve some increased options for your selection. Yes, there's a lot of busy things occurring with holiday events, resident events. We had one marketing event. We still have another marketing event coming in later in the year. Catered events for the outside. The wine club, they're going to have one event. We're asking their help, and they've agreed to a December 17th event, which will be special for them. So that's occurring. Special recognition dinner for the culinary team. It's being planned for November 20th in the Regatta Grill. We'll continue to give you more feedback on it, but that means on that date, on November 20th, we will be shutting Clark's down at 2 p.m., Regatta Grill shutting down at 2 p.m., and this will become the restaurant that evening. The Chesapeake will be the restaurant, your independent living meal option that day, and this is going to be turned into Little Italy. And it will have a buffet, it'll be $16, it'll be truly special food. But that day, Julian, Daryl, and just like one other cook will be cooking for all of you and for their team, as some resident volunteers and some management people will be serving the culinary team in the Regatta Grill that evening. It's their appreciation event. It's what we've decided to do for them. So read through that, understand it. That's an important piece. To assist you with your holiday planning, you can read that grid, but this is the first time, and I just thought it was important for you. So as I'm helping Anisha and in place of Kurt, I said, let's show them what is going to happen for the holidays. So right here you can see which meal is a buffet, which meal is going to be table service, when will we open this room up, and you can see that will occur on Thanksgiving as well as Christmas Day, where if you want to have a larger party, 7 or more at a table, we've had residents go up to 15, 21. We'll be prepared, and we've set this room up in e-menu choice for reservations, so we don't have to just do paper copy of the form at the concierge desk. You can see the price points. If you're saying, why isn't Christmas Eve locked in? Well, the steak will be one price, so the beef option that's available as an added value, but there will also be live lobster. And he'll get the market price week before, and if it allows us to charge $25, we will. If we need to charge $30, we will, but it'll be dining dollars. You can see consistent with other practices, we've added $3 whenever it's a guest meal, just because we think that's still fair, particularly when buffets are included. And you'll see when the menu will be printed and available for you to see the details, all the sides on a given event, as well as when you can start making reservations. So for example, Thanksgiving, you'll be able to start making reservations through the concierge on October 27th, but they will be using and will be putting numbers into e-menu choice reservation. So you can read there a little bit on the next page will be New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Sorry that it was split across, but I hope that gives you some opportunity to plan your holidays and when you might want to entertain, what to expect, and more details will come with these specific menus. So thank you for allowing me to fill in for Kurt, and here we have Candace.
Hello, everyone. How we doing? All right, hang in there with me. We're going to try to move it quickly. So a couple of things that we have coming up here. Of course, I think Judy mentioned it. Next Tuesday, we do have our team member Halloween trick-or-treat night with residents. So I know I've got about 10 to 12 residents who have reserved tables. So this room will transform, and we'll have lots of little children running around in all kinds of different costumes. Residents as well in costumes. I love seeing that as well. They get very into it. So we'll have the popcorn machine going. So feel free to come in, even if you're not bringing a grandchild. You can come grab some popcorn. All right, so fun things that we have coming up. We do also have our annual fall craft fair. Thursday, November 6th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. right here in the Chesapeake Room. So this is a great time to get that Christmas shopping list out of the way. We'll have lots of different vendors in here, some food samplings as well for fall flavors, and Brenda will have this whole corner here of all of her sales for the year, so it's a good time to come stock up on those gifts. Social accountability, this is the time of year that we're really thinking about ways that we can give back. So we're going to be doing Operation Christmas Child Shoebox Filling on Friday, November 7th at 11 a.m. right here in the Chesapeake Room. So we already have all of the items that I've ordered, and we just need help with an assembly line filling those shoe boxes. You've seen many churches and schools do this. So we'll be doing 50 for boys and 50 for girls, and I've ordered things accordingly, and then you can help assemble them. Day trip to Carter Mountain Apple Orchard in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm sure we'll be able to see some fall foliage, hopefully some colors turning. Leaving on Monday, November 10th at 8:30 a.m. from the Hampton entrance. So it's a fun day for some apple picking. They have a fun little shop there as well that you can get some fresh made pies, things of that nature. They also have apple cider donuts as well. Veterans Day program, so our annual tradition will be Tuesday, November 11th at 2 p.m. right here in the Chesapeake Room. If you are a new resident, or if we happen to not have your veterans pick, whether it's you or a spouse, we would love to have that so we can feature that on our board and in our program. So feel free to pass that along to myself for that event. Moving on to the other page here, I'm just going to hit some highlights here. So we do have our Virginia Handbell Consort, our Christmas program, Saturday, November 22nd at 2 p.m. That's a fan favorite that everybody kind of waits for, that annual tradition, so be sure to mark your calendar for that. And then important updates, so Christmas decorating. Last year, we didn't have anybody riot decorating for Christmas before Thanksgiving, so we'll do that again. So we have Caitlin Atkins. She was actually one of the elves last year with our Over the Moon friend. She is going to be taking over the project this year. Bobby and Kristen with Over the Moon will be here kind of overseeing the project. You may or may not see them as the elves typically work overnight, but that will begin that weekend before Thanksgiving. So pretty much all of the independent living areas will be tackled that first weekend, and then the second weekend they'll be working in our higher level of care neighborhoods as well. So same as last year, we'll put some communications out. I'll work with the culinary team, but we will be storing those tubs and containers in that exterior cafe area as well, so that'll be blocked off really nicely. All the decorations will be in place before that annual tree lighting on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2 p.m., Community Center entrance right out front here. Chippy, our friendly elf on the shelf, will also be making his arrival that day. I've had a few people stop and ask if Chippy was going to come back this year, so I said I sure hope so. He gets into lots of trouble. I just have to keep my eye on him. Christmas at the Chesapeake. It sounds like it's far off, but it's really not. I have both Halloween and Christmas in my head at one time. So that'll be Saturday, December 13th from 3 to 6 p.m. I am really excited about a new offering that we have this year. So anybody familiar with the Disney movie Polar Express?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we get to live Polar Express here at the Chesapeake. So you see this picture down here, we're going to have a trackless train. Anybody like riding trains or seeing trains? Yeah. So we'll have a Polar Express theme this year. So we'll have the hot chocolate, we'll have the movie showing, maybe some Santa's bells and things of that nature. So our horse and carriage friends aren't going to be able to be with us this year, but we're really excited for this new opportunity. So as you can see, we put it in print here. This is fun for all ages, those young and young at heart. I can't wait to see you all riding the train and get lots of adorable pictures. So really looking forward to that, and I hope that picture kind of gets you jazzed and excited for that. At the bottom of the page, you'll see just save the date for the St. Nick Night on Tuesday, December 16th. I'm gonna put on my fitness hat and talk about fitness for a little bit. So we are really excited that we have made an offer to a new NIFS fitness director, Amy Henry. Really excited when I had the interview with her. NIFS definitely put her through several rounds of interviews as well. You'll see here she's gonna be starting on November 5th. So she'll be at the Chesapeake then. She's gonna do a little bit of training at NIFS headquarters in Indy before that. But Amy brings a wide background of experience in fitness in both senior living and with the YMCA. So she's really excited to kind of plant some roots here, She lives over in Smithfield. She's actually done some personal training for residents who already live here, so she's got some connections. So we're really excited to bring her on. Her and Grace mesh really well together, which is important for those fitness roles. So we are excited to welcome her to the Chesapeake family. And I'll let you read through the rest for the fitness portion, because I see Uwe is already ready to go.
Thank you, Candice. We are at the bottom of page 12, and we are close to the end of this meeting. I've decided to not do my rousing 20-minute sermon that I had planned for. I'll do it some other time, all right? 2 quick words about the bereavement support group and the caregiver support group. For next town hall, I'll just add a couple of sentences, since we do have a good number of new residents. But verbally, let me add, bereavement support group is for anybody who has experienced a loss. It doesn't have to be a very recent loss. We are not putting a time limit, but anybody who has lost a spouse, a sibling, a child, any significant loss, this is a good support group for you to share your experience. And we are in the harbor room, which is just outside of this building next to the credit union. The caregiver support group is for those of you who might be primary caregivers, again, not limited to a spouse. Some of you might take care of a son or daughter, a niece or nephew. Anybody who is in that situation, you will find that your batteries sometimes run low. And that's a wonderful way, again, through sharing to recharge your batteries. I'm leading both of the groups, primarily, however, they're resident-led. So I'm leading the discussion a little bit, but primarily it's an exchange of experiences, and occasionally I have a little bit of an educational component to it as well. So especially new residents, I want to encourage you to come. We clearly have room to grow. We are about 5 or 6 people in each group right now, and we can easily double up and still not feel crowded in the room over there. Worship services, a good ensemble. I will say something about the annual service of remembrance in a moment, but the other ones, then on the 9th is Reverend Caldwell, on the 16th, Reverend Joe Hunt, on the 23rd, Reverend Natalie Chamberlain, and then on the 30th, Reverend Dr. Doug Eccles. Let me say a word or two about the new film and lecture series instead of reading all of it. Our rabbi, we call him our rabbi, Reverend Dr. Michael Panitz, is now in his 3rd year of giving lectures. It's the 2nd year where we combine movies and lectures. So this time the focus is on vignettes of Jewish life throughout history. So we usually have a movie on a Tuesday and then a lecture on the next Tuesday. It doesn't always work out like that. Occasionally there's a 2-week gap in between because of scheduling reasons, but we try to put it as close together as possible. So next time we will watch Frisco Kid, which is actually a comedy. It stars Gene Wilder as a rabbi, and then a very young George Harrison is a bank robber. So it should be great fun. I think you will enjoy it, and so it's called Frisco Kid for San Francisco. Now a word about the upcoming service of remembrance. That is always a highlight, I think, of our community. It's, of course, bittersweet. We will remember 45 residents who have passed in the previous 12 months. And the service will be right here. We expect probably around 130 people to be here. That has been fairly consistent over the last 5 years that I've been here. And you do not have to make reservations. We have sent invitations to the relatives of those 45 residents, and we will reserve about the first half of the Chesapeake room for families, for family members. But all residents are invited, and if you have been here for a while, you will at least know half of these residents and probably more. And it's usually a very moving service. Reverend Bierman and I will collaborate in reading the names of the residents. So we will have a picture of each of the residents coming up on the screen. He will read the name of the resident, and we'll have a chance to get up if we are a close friend or family member to honor them. And then I will read the name, the date of their death, and we will sit back down. I will do it 45 times, so that's the one day a year where I really get very good exercise. I'm getting up for every of the residents. I would not recommend that you do that, but only for those where you were really close friends. That's a beautiful way of honoring them. Because of so many people, we cannot do something like a candle lighting or things of that nature. But then we have a beautiful buffet afterwards, which this time will not be outside in the lobby, but it will actually be in the Regatta Grill and Mariner's Room. So after the service, we'll go over there. One more important thing for November the 2nd, well, two things. Number one, we fall back, so daylight savings time ends, so we fall back an hour, but then we also do our service an hour earlier. So instead of a 2:45 service, it will be at 1:45, because we have people from out of town and some from out of state coming, and we want them to be able to get back when there is still at least a glimmer of light. But come for both the service and the fellowship. The Chesapeake invites you. Chef Julian and his team have already provided a beautiful menu. Yes, the meatballs that are always popular will be there. And this time also he is adding some crab cakes. So it will be a good meal, but the main focus is, of course, fellowship, honoring the memories of our fellow residents, and just celebrating life. The focus is on, it is a celebration of life service and honoring the contribution that they had for our community. Do you have any questions for me as your chaplain? If not, David, do you want to close us up?
Well, a lot of news, a lot of information. I appreciate everyone's participation from the staff standpoint. What did we miss? Questions that you have? Pat?
Could you please fix the clock?
Yeah, Andy, that clock's been sort of, I think we have to, I think it's beyond batteries now. Yeah, so we have to, I think what we need to do is remove the clock until we can either replace the interior works, but we will. Thank you. Appreciate you pointing that out. Anyone else have a clock to be fixed? We got a lot of them that need help. Yeah, yeah. Well, this is back to Uwe's illustration. You have to remember, for the service remembrance, you got to set your clocks fall back, and you got to get here an hour early. Just show up. I mean, just, yeah, you'll be here. All right, anything else? Well, thank you for wishing me happy birthday. I look forward to discussing anything here with you, and absolutely come for the budget discussion when it occurs. Do I have a last minute question in the back?
Would it be possible to provide a list of those 45 individuals whom we will celebrate for the day of the Remembrance Day, so that...
Sure, I hear your request, and let me repeat it. I think what Mr. Chesley's asking is that just for him to know and for others to know who will be honored, because there may be somebody you forgot that will be, you want to be in attendance. So we'll look at it, Uwe. I think maybe we can post it, place somewhere that list of 45. So very easy. Another question in the back.
It's not a question, it's a comment on the voting on November 4th. City Center is not the place to go. You need to go to your precinct to vote. That's an error. City Center, the last day for City Center is November 1st.
So the question and the comment is, it's making sure that we're giving you accurate information on the voting location. And am I hearing, and I'm going to turn to the right page, so I'm looking at that note. There it is, voting. So it's Tuesday, November 4th, 10/11/12, Hampton entrance, but the voting is not at the Center that day. We take them to early voting City Center, and that day we'll be going to the local precinct. Okay, so the times and date are correct, but we're making it clear. The bus will take you to the right location. Got it. Okay? That's all that matters. Show me up, just like GPS, just follow it, get me there, we're fine. All right, any other important questions? Alice?
I'm a little bit confused about the car that goes around at night. And they, I thought one night that there was, staff members in the car. Is that a professional group that does that?
The question has to do with our security team, first responders that work with Ed, and we have the Ford Taurus that we drive around at night, has Chesapeake on the side, and they'll put a flashing light on it. That's our team. We typically have 2 people here. There are some nights we've staffed a 3rd one. It could be someone who's in training, could be an extra person, but they are our team members that are connected to our first responders by radio. So if there's ever an issue on campus, they would drive to that situation. But they're here just to give you a comfort of safety. They're driving around, we check on things, but it's our staff in that security vehicle. Okay? Very good. Well, have a delightful day. I don't have enough dinner to invite you over to my house, but I think I'm getting 2 of my favorites. So it's just a home-cooked meal, but I'm excited. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.